morning. Welcome to What's Up Ocala. I'm your host, Andrea Praber, and today we'll be exploring sinkholes. Well, not actually exploring them, unless you go up to maybe Devil's Den and swim around in that old sinkhole they have up there. Let's go ahead and start with what are sinkholes? Well, they're basically pits or formations that occur when the ground collapses and it creates a hole or a depression in the Earth's surface. They can vary in size from a few feet to hundreds of feet in diameter. Sinkholes are commonly found in areas with soluble bedrock, such as limestone. And guess what we have a whole lot of here in Florida? Yep, limestone. The formation of sinkholes typically in Florida is primarily related to the entire state's unique geological characteristics. So here's a breakdown of the formation process, and I promise not to get too boring on you, okay? I'll keep it short and sweet. You may have a dissolution of limestone because Florida is known for its limestone bedrock, which is composed of calcium carbonate. Over time, water or rain containing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere or soil absorbs more of the carbon dioxide as it seeps into the ground. And this creates a very mildly acidic solution known as carbonic acid. As rainwater kind of percolates through the soil, which takes years, it dissolves the limestone and it creates cavities and voids underground. You may also have gradual erosion, the continuous dissolution of limestone that weakens the rock structure underground. These are massive, massive rocks. We're not talking little ones here. Over time, the underground cavities can grow larger and larger, and it leads to the creation of an extensive underground network of voids and channels. If you travel over to Manatee Springs, you can actually go scuba diving in up to 5 miles of these underground caves and channels. Personally, that thought gives me the creeps, but to each their own. Finally, you can also have surface activities such as heavy rainfall, which we've definitely been seeing lately. You can see a lot of changes to the water table levels. Things like, pumping millions of gallons a day out of the aquifer and bottling it into plastic containers and shipping it all over the world. Or, maybe some other human activities like a lot of construction, additional traffic weight, or stuff like that. That can also contribute to sinkhole formation. But excessive rainfall, it infiltrates the ground and it increases the water table and it places additional stress on that weakened limestone until it eventually collapses and it creates that depression up on the Earth's surface. So let's go ahead and talk about the dangers associated with sinkholes. Well, obviously, you have structural damage. Sinkholes can cause significant damage to homes and buildings and infrastructure, like parking lots, perhaps. When the ground collapses, it also can swallow anything above it, leading to the destruction of property and infrastructure. And as creepy as that thought of the ground eating you is, it's actually incredibly rare that anyone is hurt, let alone dies from sinkhole activity. In fact, there's only one case that is on record of ever happening, and that was over in Orlando. Most likely, sinkholes are going to pose a significant risk to possessions, especially if they form suddenly and without any warning. So vehicles can and have fallen into sinkholes. The sudden collapse of the ground can be particularly dangerous if it occurs beneath roads or other transportation routes with little to no warning. There's also the economic impact that sinkhole damage can have, especially with maybe a major parking lot. It has severe financial consequences. Repairing those structures or infrastructure, maybe utilities that are affected by sinkholes, it can be expensive and time consuming, especially if you're doing a business and that impacts your business working. Sinkhole activity is also negatively impacting property values in affected areas. We often consider it in real estate a bad mark against the property if it had a sinkhole remediation done on it. Future homebuyers often will not even consider a home that had a sinkhole, even if it has been over a decade and it was repaired. It's all on public record. When a property had a sinkhole, it must be disclosed to potential buyers. So I can absolutely promise you that you will end up getting below market price on a home that had sinkhole activity reported versus one that had no issues like that. It's really important to note that not all areas of Florida are prone to sinkholes, and the risk really depends on the specific location. We're actually pretty high and dry in Marion County, and a large portion of the county is less sand and more clay, which is less susceptible. So, to mitigate the dangers associated with sinkholes, what can you do? Well, engineers and geologists conduct studies and assessments to identify areas at higher risk, especially when they're building large construction projects. Building codes and regulations are implemented to ensure construction practices minimize the potential for sinkhole related damage. So that's definitely helpful. We've seen that with some of the larger construction that's been going on. They have geological surveys and stuff first. What about if you're buying a home in Florida and want to avoid purchasing a property in a sinkhole prone area? There's several steps you can take to minimize the risk, not negate it entirely, but minimize it at least. You want to research the sinkhole activity in the specific area where you're considering buying a home. You also might want to consult with those geological surveys, the sinkhole databases, the reports that they have out there, and just gather information about past sinkhole occurrences in that region. There's a lot of local government agencies or geological organizations that have a lot of valuable resources to really help you understand the sinkhole risk. Keep in mind also, though, there were thousands of fraudulent sinkhole claims on homes during the recession because people were stuck in homes that they were upside down on the mortgage with. So claiming a sinkhole at that time would force the insurance companies to pay off the mortgage, thereby allowing the sellers that couldn't sell at the amount they needed to move to be able to move. So I would highly recommend taking any sinkhole claims during that time period with a grain of salt. Not all the claims were fraudulent, of course, but most were. And it's almost impossible to tell which is which. I promise the insurance companies tried really hard. But basically, when you're buying a home and you're coming from another state or another area, choosing a reputable real estate agent who's familiar with the local area and has experience dealing with sinkhole issues is huge, absolutely huge. They can provide insights into sinkhole prone areas, help you navigate the real estate market more effectively. And honestly, if you're absolutely terrified of even the thought of a potential sinkhole, before you actually finalize the purchase of the property, hiring a qualified geotech engineer or geotechnical engineer or a licensed sinkhole specialist to conduct a very thorough inspection of the property will help. They'll assess the soil conditions, they're going to review the historical data, they're going to perform tests, and they're going to be able to identify any signs of sinkhole activity. So because of those fraudulent claims that we talked about earlier, sinkhole insurance coverage can be sparse. It really can. But it's very important in protecting your investment in your home. So really familiarize yourself with the sinkhole insurance options available here in Florida. Sinkhole insurance may not be mandatory. It probably won't be mandatory, but it is recommended to look into, especially if you're buying in an area that's prone to sinkholes. One neighborhood may be prone to sinkholes, one neighborhood might not be. So it's not like you can just say this whole area. In Florida, sellers are required to disclose information about sinkholes or sinkhole activity on the property. So you want to take a real close look at the seller's disclosure documents and ask very specific questions regarding sinkholes. You may also want to check on public record on the property appraiser's website, not only for the property you're buying, but on any of the other properties that are adjoining that property. The seller is actually supposed to disclose if they know of any sinkhole activity in adjoining properties, but good luck proving that they knew about it and didn't disclose it. It's best just to look into it for yourself. And that, again, it's all public record and free and accessible. These things can really help reduce the risk of purchasing a home in a sinkhole prone area, but there is no guarantee. They cannot guarantee absolute safety from future erosion or shifting. And honestly, sinkholes can occur unexpectedly, and a new sinkhole may have activity that has developed over time and it just wasn't there before. Always, always, always consult with professionals who have expertise in sinkhole assessment and real estate in the local area to ensure that you make the best possible decision, because this is probably going to be one of your largest assets. So you want to have it protected. If you've ever been to our website at GER.ExpectMore, there is actually some videos from some of our agents. We try and get all of them, but some of them get a little busy on us, but that's okay. Anyway, there's these videos where you kind of get to know them a little bit better. So we came up with like 20 questions we could ask them. Some of them were thought-provoking, some of them are just darn silly, but they're 20 questions that we ask our agents so that they can kind of show a little bit of their personality, show what's important to them. And in just 20 questions, you can really, really identify with them or kind of see if there's somebody you want to work with or if you want to get to know better. So it's really kind of cool. So again, it's GER.ExpectMore. But what's interesting is I don't have mine on there. And one of my agents actually noticed that I had not answered the 20 questions myself. So I am going to go ahead this morning, to the benefit of you guys only. I'm not going to put it on the website or anything, but I am going to share with you the 20 questions and my answers to them. So I hope you enjoy. Maybe these are some questions that you can ask some family members or maybe some kids or something like that and open up some dialogue. Get those questions answered. All right. So the first question, of course, that we ask is, who are you? What do you do? What do you specialize in? I am Andrea Praber. I'm the broker owner of Great Expectations Realty. I actually was specializing in property management and investment properties for most of my career. However, at this point, I actually am specializing more in real estate education and public speaking, and actually educating realtors that are already licensed real estate agents that just want to advance their career. So it's kind of fun seeing what somebody that is already licensed but maybe not doing too much, what they can actually do and what they can accomplish, and it's really pretty cool. So I think my next speaking engagement is actually over at D.R. Horton. I'll be doing their sales meeting, so that should be fun. It's always fun going and talking to that. My last one was over at the Chamber of Commerce. I was working with the Impact thing where they actually are working with different communities and helping entrepreneurs and small business owners. So it was really exciting to be able to help them with that. So, all right, one of the questions, favorite color, blue, of course, because if you've ever seen anything that has to do with our logo or the company, it's all in blue. I love the color blue in any shade. Favorite food, that's a toss up. It's either going to be pizza or chocolate. Possibly both. If I could have pizza and then chocolate, I think I'd be really, really thrilled. Also, I found out that they put canned corn on pizza over in Europe, which is just weird. And a lot of people try to put anchovies or pineapple on the pizza. Also, not a thing for me. But I would do like a Mexican pizza or a buffalo. I don't know, maybe. But best is just pepperoni. All right. If I could meet anyone alive or dead, who would it be? Oh man, absolutely anybody. I would love to meet Jesus. I think it would be really, really cool. I would love to have an actual, like a conversation where we actually like got to talk back and forth. So of course I've, had a few conversations with him, but I would like to have the other side of the conversation too. So that would be kind of cool. So yeah, I think Jesus would be nice. If I had a time machine, would I go into the past or the future? Both. I would like to see all of it. I would like to go into the past because I love history. I would also like to go into the future and see what we become and what happens and how it happens. And yeah, it would be really, really cool. So I would say both. I just, if I had a time machine, I would wear that thing out. Best book ever read? Oof, that is so hard. I am such a big reader. Obviously, I need my company Great Expectations. Um, for nonfiction, I would have to say it would have to be Eat That Frog from Brian Tracy. That one was really good. Or How to Win Friends and Influence Others. That one was also incredibly great advice. Actually, a lot of it was biblical, and that was kind of neat. Really just amazing over the time advice. As far as fiction, I love Jane Eyre. I loved it so much. When I was a kid, I read it over and over and over again. Anything by Charles Dickens, Mark Twain, oh my goodness, there's just so many amazing authors and amazing books out there. It's impossible just to say one. But I really did love Jane Eyre. I read it over and over, and I read Little Women repeatedly. I know it's kind of gimmicky, but that's the truth. I cannot even count how many times I read both of those books. It just, I don't know, they made me stop and think. And yeah. Best or worst gift ever given? Um, Wow. That I didn't actually think about. Probably the best gift was my husband when he gave me my wedding ring, and I absolutely love it. It was exactly what I wanted, and he had it made for me. And my husband is actually pretty terrible about giving gifts. So it was actually just perfect, and he just kind of went above and beyond and had it laser printed inside. So it has the date that we were married and his name and my name. And I don't know, it's absolutely perfect. And I just absolutely love it. So that's probably the best gift. He went and he had it made for me, which is great. Uh, who would play you in a movie? Oh boy, I hope they never make a movie out of me. Not good. That is not a good plan. If I had to have some actress play me, I'm gonna go with Julia Roberts because I would like to be taller and a brunette, so we'll just go with that and hope she can. She's an amazing actress, so she can pretty much do anything. Favorite restaurant? Oh man, there is a restaurant in Texas called Ponchos, and I loved that place. I would go. I literally have thought about going to Texas just so I can go to that place again. It was Mexican, like Tex-Mex, all you can eat buffet, and it was absolutely amazing food. Went there countless times when I was a kid. As an adult, I love this place in Tennessee that's also a buffet, oddly enough. But they have like the best food. I mean, the absolute best food. They had all you can eat prime rib the night we were there, and it was the best prime rib I've ever had, and it was all you can eat. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. So phenomenal food. I think that one's called Austin's, and it's in Knoxville, Tennessee, I think. And my husband's probably going to be going. No, it's not. But anyway, it's amazing food. It's always got this huge, huge parking lot full of cars. That's when it's a good restaurant. So both of those are great. For here in Marion County, I would have to say, Gitano's. I'm actually going there this week. Gitano's Subs is amazing. It's a small, tiny, tiny, tiny place, but the ladies in there are absolutely amazing. So shout out to Amy over there. They're just so good. They have the best cheesecake on the planet, bar none. Best. And there's always these really crazy creative soups that I've never even heard of. I ate lasagna soup the last time I was there. It was just amazing. Their subs are great too. I love the soft bread and everything, so that one's great. And of course, I love Mojo's and Red's. Red's is awesome, but I think technically that's in Citrus County because it's just a few feet over the border. So it's in Citrus County. But Red's is amazing. We've been going there for years. They have some really great fried green tomatoes. Can you tell I love food? Biggest problem that you see in the world that you'd like to fix? Love. There seems to be very little love out there for our neighbors and for each other and even for ourselves. So if I could do one thing, I would say to shower love on each other and show more love to each other. And I think that would actually solve a lot of problems. And What am I doing to fix it? I am trying to be as positive as I can possibly be. I have a lot of people that watch me on social media and listen to me on the radio and stuff. And I try very, very hard never to have a bad day on here. And if I am having a bad day, that's a great time to stay away from social media. But basically just trying to be as positive as possible and take the higher road. As I tell my agents all the time, there's a lot of gray areas in real estate, so when in doubt, just head towards the light and you'll stay out of trouble. So just continuing to be as good a person as you can be, and show love to everyone. It's really difficult because it feels like I'm one person and there's just so many people out there and it's overwhelming, and I'm not perfect, but try. Just try. That's all we can do, right? All right. Biggest regret. Ooh, wow. Um, of course, there's some very personal ones that I'm not going to talk about, but I really wish that my husband and I had met each other sooner. I we he's my total and complete opposite, and I think that I would have liked to have loved him even longer. So probably that. Favorite drink, water. I drink water constantly. If I'm not drinking water, I'm drinking coffee. Best advice I've ever been given. Um, my grandmother told me to stay close to God, and that was right before she passed away. So that's what I'm going to stick with. Favorite saying. Oof. Ew, if there's a will, there's a way. I've definitely proven that to be true. Yeah. So I really do think I can do anything, and I'm going to try. I'm going to absolutely try. Even if it's not going to work out, I'm still going to try. Do I ask for discounts? I hate asking for discounts. My husband does that. Like I said, he's my total opposite. He always asks for a discount. He'll ask for a discount at Lowe's. It's like he'll be like, "Oh, there's a slight issue. Can we just go ahead and get this clearanced off?" And it's like, "What? It's Lowe's. What's wrong with you?" But no, he does. He does. He buys the cars. Now, if it's for one of my customers, I will fight tooth and nail. But asking for myself, I don't feel comfortable. Is that weird? That's probably weird. All right. Why do you like your job? Because it's always different. I always had an issue where I would get so bored. I would go and start something new. I would go into a company and I'd learn everything I could possibly do. I was always cross training in every department and stuff. Real estate is never boring. I have never found a boring day. There's no way to get to the top of your game. There's always something else to learn. So I love that about it. If you had to be in a different job, what would you be doing? Probably marketing or advertising. I do enjoy that quite a bit, especially helping small businesses. So I do that in some ways with, like I said, with the public speaking and stuff and working with realtors, even those that are not associated with my brokerage. But I would love to do that in a larger way. Time, death, and distance can separate people. Who do you miss? My grandmother, definitely. She was a force to be reckoned with. She was fire. She was great. So I definitely miss her. Do you have people or did you make your own people? Yes, I have kids. I have a stepson who is at college and I have a daughter who is in high school and she actually just started dual enrollment. So she's technically in college as well. Favorite movie? Oh, probably The Princess Bride or Betty and June. Both of those are absolutely fantastic movies. You can watch a bazillion times and still enjoy them. So either one of those would be great. Describe my perfect day. That's the last question. My perfect day. Just spending time with my family. It really doesn't matter what we're doing, but just spending time with my family. Having stuff to do together would be great. So we do spend a lot of time together. But yeah, I think just my day off where I don't necessarily need to be somewhere or do something, and just spending time with them at home is great. So, all right. Well, that's my 20 questions. You guys have heard it here, only here. So, if you want to check into some of the other agents, like I said, go to GER.ExpectMoreRealty.com and check out some of their answers. And maybe ask yourself the same 20 questions or ask a family member and see what their answers are. All right, let's go ahead and go over the stats for this week. This was the last 7 days here in Marion County. What is going on with the residential properties being bought, sold, went under contract, whatever. So let's go ahead and go over those numbers for our market watch. New listings, we had 211 hit the MLS this week. Price increases 30. Price decreases 227. That is way under what it's been. We're actually getting close to the 100 instead of 200 or 300. It's been 300 or more price decreases weekly for months and months now. But now we're actually looking at low 200. So it looks like we're actually getting a pretty good grasp, a pretty good handle on what the houses are selling for these days, which is great news. Back on the market, we had 49. That's also a pretty low number. Sold 247. So obviously a lot of things are still closing. We had expired 28, leased properties, absolutely zero. Pending 242. So obviously a lot of people are still out there shopping. Temporarily off the market 15, withdrawn 5, and canceled 35. There's quite a few canceled in there. We had, as far as the leased properties, in case you had any questions about that, and the reason there's absolutely none on the MLS these days that have actually been leased, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we have very few rentals available, and so quite a few of them are not even hitting the MLS. In fact, we've actually had quite often lately where somebody is moving out of their property. They've got their U-Haul truck and the neighbors are already calling us saying, hey, do you have any more rentals, or is that one coming up on the market? Because we've got friends or family that have been looking for months and that would be perfect for them. What's it going to be rented for? So it never really goes very far. So it's very few houses that are up available. This week is actually a little different. We do have some houses available. They're up on our website at GER.ExpectMore. So if you want to take a look at those, go for it. Feel free. We also have, let's see, that 211 new listings. That's a little bit low, but considering we had a holiday weekend last weekend, that's actually not too shocking. So let's go ahead and take a look at the national average interest rate for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. It is ticking back up there. In fact, it's getting a little close to that 8%. It's at 7.755. Yikes. So if you are hoping to get something under the 8%, you might want to consider going ahead and getting a home. If you're interested or if you qualify, I would highly, highly recommend that you go ahead and look at that 15-year fixed rate, not only because it's going to save you 15 years of mortgage payments, but also because the fixed rate mortgage rate for national average is 6.639%, so more than a point under. So I would highly recommend just take a look at that 15-year fixed rate mortgage, way, way under what the 30-year is. So take a look at that one. All right. What else is going on these days in Marion County? Oh, there's so much. There's so much. Okay. Well, of course, every Saturday morning we have the downtown market, which is located on the corner of 3rd and 3rd downtown. That goes on from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. today, so you have plenty of time to get down there. They've got vendors, fresh produce, food trucks, live music, coffee and mimosas. It's pet friendly, it's kid friendly, and there's even arts and crafts. So go ahead and check that out. If you're looking for something maybe similar, but a little more unique, you could go over to Brown and Brown Farms. They have the ultimate yard sale going on. That's right, it's time for junk in the trunk. They are there every first Saturday of the month, and it goes from 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's located alongside Brown's Country Market on Highway 301, and this is the perfect event for people who love yard sales, flea markets, or are just looking for a bargain. If you're interested in participating as a vendor, you can go ahead and park your car for your spot, bring your own tables and chairs. This is legitimately just a field. And yeah, it's only $15. So you can have your own spot for junk in the trunk. $15, and there's no registration or anything. You just show up for Saturday of the month and you're good to go. If you're just shopping, it's free. So come on down, take a look around, and purchase what you are interested in. And there's all sorts of different stuff. Let me tell you, we love going to that. Well, you may have participated over at the Baseline Trailhead in the Running of the Donuts 5K. It was at 9 a.m. this morning. If not, there is actually another opportunity for you to go ahead and start a 5K or join a 5K here in Ocala this month. We're going to be participating in the Retro Run 5K. That's on Saturday, June 24th. If you want to sign up for that, you can go to runsignup.com. The Retro Run is benefiting the Children's Home Society of Florida, and it's $35 right now. But the price does increase after June 20th. This is an evening run if anybody is concerned about the heat. It actually gets started at 7 p.m. So hopefully it'll be done right around 7:30 or 8, depending on how fast you run. This is the second annual Retro Run 5K, and it takes place in downtown Ocala. This race is actually going to take place again in the evening, 7 p.m. on June 24th. So break out your Chuck Taylors and your short shorts for the first race of the Run Ocala race series. So finish your medals for the first 300 to cross the finish line. What else is going on this weekend, though? We have Cannon Farm Spring Market. That's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. over in Denellen. So you pick flower fields, hay fields, face painting, animals to feed, and so much more. And if you have driven past lately, those sunflowers are gorgeous. There are thousands of them. It is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. Definitely a showstopper with all of those gorgeous sunflowers. That is on the corner of Highway 484 and 180th Avenue. So stop on out to that. If you want to go indoors, you can go over to the Ocala Discovery Center today from 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's the Star Lab Planetarium Show. It's an inflatable planetarium that brings the wonder of the night sky, the solar system, into an indoor galaxy for you to enjoy. So definitely check that out. And finally, tomorrow we have Ocala Petapalooza. Oh, I said that right. I was so worried about it. So Ocala's Petapalooza is going on at the World Equestrian Center from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. You can play, shop, learn, and even adopt a pet. There's pet parades, costume contest, agility course, and so much more. So stop on out there. That's one of my favorite places to go. It's the World Equestrian Center in Marion County these days. All right, that is it for us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or other, go ahead and let us know. Our email is GER.ExpectMore@gmail.com. You can also give us a call in case you have any real estate related questions. You can do that at 352-817-9160. That's 352-817-9160. Or if you'd like to have the Ask Andrea series be about your question, you can go ahead to classichitsocala.com and you can submit your question. And every Friday it will run. It'll have your answer. It's normally a real quick response to a question that you have about real estate related things here in Marion County. So go ahead and submit your questions if you would like to do that. If you're interested in being on our show, please just go ahead and let us know. GER.ExpectMore@gmail.com. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.